Some nights are for deep reflection. Some nights are for lighthearted laughs. Tonight, we're somewhere deliciously in between. Welcome to Bargain Brand Wellness. We're diving into weird late night shower thoughts, dusting off glorious outdated advice from the 1950s, decoding the sacred wisdom of teenagers, and finishing with a little real talk about healing yourself, snake bites, and all. Welcome back to Bargain Brand Wellness, where wellness is whatever makes you feel human, healing is off-brand but always on point, and self-care comes with a clearance sticker. Welcome to Wellness. Thanks for having you guys back here. We are excited to get into this. We are live on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Thanks for being here, my wellness warriors, my self-care connoisseurs, my students of wellness. Happy hump day on this wonderful Wellness Wednesday. We had a fun-filled show for you. I hope you all enjoy. And we're going to get into it here soon. We're going to give everyone a chance to pop in. Going to get a little bit of background music going on. Give y'all a little something to hang out to while we get going. As I mentioned on Monday's stream, we have a special guest joining us this evening. Nova is going to be coming back into our conversation. We're excited to have her. I know some of our recurring viewers really like having Nova on here, and I do too. Nova gives us a wealth of wisdom that I'm excited to have. But welcome. So while we're waiting on people to pop in, quick reminder, if you haven't unclenched your jaw in the last 10 minutes, now is your moment. Bonus points if you unshrug your shoulders too. Take a moment to unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath. Right? We kind of talked about that the other day a little bit. You know, the unclenching of the jaw. Most of us keep a tight jaw and we don't even realize it, especially when you get a little stressed out, a little emotionally triggered. Right? It tends to hit us most. Right? Take a moment. Take your tongue, put it on the back of your teeth, just kind of relax your jaw a little bit, and then just breathe. Feel the tension unwind out of you. Good time. We're here on this wonderful Wednesday, drinking our nightly herbal tea. I've kind of gotten in the habit. I have a glass or a cup of herbal tea almost every night anymore. I really kind of enjoy it. I really enjoy my sleepy time chamomile tea. It's got a little bit of a spearmint to it that I really enjoy. No sugar, no honey, straight tea. It's one of those things I said, and I've said this numerous times, didn't think I'd like coffee or tea without sugar in it, but you do kind of acquire the taste once you can start to kind of get rid of those sweetened taste buds, right? That kind of getting used to that sweetness. It's kind of nice. Hope y'all like the get up for the night. This is our retro cowboy, futuristic cowboy look, Australian cowboy, right? Whatever you want to call it, with our bucket hat. Yeehaw, mate. I like it. Yeehaw, mate. Welcome. Hope you're ready to enjoy a fun-filled stream. We're going to get started here shortly. Another fun-filled episode, right? We're live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be our standard start time. I think 8:30, 8:30. Friday, I think, is going to be our first BBW After Dark stream, where we go a little bit later, and we get into things more related to conspiracy theories, but weird facts. Just, hey, did you know? Right? Or what are your thoughts on X, Y, or Z? Go a little bit later, right? More adult related, not super dark humor, not like we used to do on the other show, but something similar to that. yeah, I think we'll end up going a little bit later on Friday. Feel free to join us. Hope you can on any platform, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, or Facebook. Yeah, come and join us. Sit down with us. Have a good time. Enjoy the show. We have some pretty decent content. We interact with chat, and we like to have a grand old time. Grand old time. Kind of lightning round question, right? Feel free if we're live on here, if you're catching this live, drop your thoughts in the chat. If not, feel free to drop a chat or a comment afterwards. Is cereal just cold soup? Right? What makes soup soup? Does it have to be hot in order to be soup? Are eyebrows just eye mustaches? Deep thoughts. Probably zero answers. I've heard the whole is cereal soup thing before. That's kind of an interesting one. I don't know. I always feel like soup has to be hot. So I'm not quite sure if I think that it's soup. Right? It's a liquid with some solid ingredients. Right? But what makes a soup soup? I feel like it's got to be hot. Maybe there's cold soups out there. I've never had one. Shane, thanks for liking the live. I appreciate it. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. The kind of new one, I never really thought about that. Are your eyebrows just simply mustaches for your eyes? And think about this. Think about this, right? For a moment. Some people trim and shave their eyebrows. I know some women who don't really have the greatest of eyebrows and will shave them completely off and then color them on. I've seen that before. Now, I mean, men don't shave their mustaches and then color them back on, but maybe they do color them. I've seen men that dye their mustaches or dye their beards. Maybe. Something to think about. I'll tell you what, I have noticed a new trend. No one ever seems to kind of talk about it. The thick eyebrows in women trend is kind of coming back. I've kind of noticed that, and I don't really know where it started. All right, we're looking pretty quiet on the comment front, so we're gonna go ahead and get into our first little segment before we bring Nova on. We're hoping people jump on here shortly because we're getting ready to bring on our special guest. But yeah, we're gonna do our thing first, right? See what we got going on. We're gonna talk about some shower thoughts a little bit. Anybody who's ever seen some of my own, personal TikToks, right? I've done several shower thoughts videos with a character I call Shower Thought Steve, right? And I've said before, we might kind of continue those. They're fun. It's an easy video to create. Yeah, so we might still do those, but if nothing else, we're gonna get into our first segment, which is on shower thoughts. So yeah, let's get in this. All right, wellness warriors, welcome to tonight's shower thoughts segment. Those fleeting, weird little brain farts that happen when you're shampooing your scalp and suddenly solving the mysteries of the universe. First thought of the night. Although your fingers are all different lengths, when you curl them into a fist, they magically appear to be the same length. Evolution didn't give us wings, but apparently it was deeply concerned about making sure our knuckle lineup was flawless. Next one. Who, and I mean who, decided that chocolate is simply the opposite of vanilla? They're both sweet. They're both delicious. They both melt in your car if you're irresponsible. This kind of feels like a branding scam that just kind of stuck because no one really wanted to fight big ice cream. Just thought. Here's a heavy hitter. Lawyers hope you get sued. Doctors hope you get sick. Cops hope you're a criminal. And mechanics hope you have car trouble. But thieves, they're the only ones who are wishing you nothing but prosperity. Isn't that beautiful? The criminals are the real optimists here. Just saying. And last one. The number of old people in the world, or the number of people in the world older than you, will never increase. Every day you outrun one more birthday cake. Aging. The only race where participation trophies are the finish line. So that's it for tonight's shower thought. Now that I've lightly fried your brain, let's dive into some wisdom from the 1950s. Back when making a roast and pretending to be happy was basically a career path. But drop the mic. Shower thoughts, right? I love shower thoughts. I always did. But the one that really kind of stuck out to me, I started thinking about this one the other day. Chocolate and vanilla. I mean, who really decided that those were going to be kind of the opposites? I mean, we have different flavors of ice cream. I feel like strawberry has kind of always been known as the redheaded stepchild, the second cousin, right? Sitting behind chocolate and vanilla. But who made that decision? Right? Vanilla versus chocolate. Light versus dark. Right? Maybe that's all it was. Maybe it's simply just the light side versus the dark side. I don't know. I've always wondered about that one. Interesting. And then the other one, it was more of a joke, right? You know, all the people who give you help, doctors, mechanics, lawyers, the police, right? They all rely. We said hope. We were being funny with that, but they all kind of rely on you having issues with those problems. Like a mechanic kind of relies on you having car problems. Not that they necessarily want you to have car problems, but thieves are the only ones who actually wish you prosperity in life because, hey, that's how they can make their money. So, yeah. Feel free to drop any interesting shower thoughts that you might have. Feel free to drop it in the chat while we're live. Or if you're catching this later, right, throw your own interesting shower thought that you might have. Right? One of those things that just kind of hits you when you're least expecting it. Like, you know what? I never thought about that thing. Here's another one for you, right? And I may have done a TikTok on this one before. I'm pretty sure I did. Isn't it interesting that nature or God made our arms just long enough that we are able to reach down and wipe your own behind? Any longer, it would feel awkward. Any shorter, you wouldn't be able to reach. Joey Twig, thanks for the live, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you here. Just saying. You know, Joey Twig. Right? I started thinking about this one, right? And actually, I've seen some videos on this. You know, and I know this is a little bit of a kind of disgusting topic, but, you know, why is it that we have to wipe, right? There's no other animals in the animal kingdom. I think it would be better to have longer arms. It definitely would. You'd still be able to reach. It would just be a little bit awkward. No other animals in the animal kingdom have to wipe their butt after taking a bowel movement. It really comes down to our diets, is the truth about it, right? Hundreds, thousands of years ago, we didn't have to wipe, right? It's all the processed food. Yeah, there you go. It's because we eat so much processed food. That's why we have to wipe. It causes our poop to not come out hard. It causes it to kind of smear, kind of make a mess. I know it's gross, but in case you're ever wondering, these are some of the weird thoughts that kind of go through my mind, right? I see we have a couple of viewers over here on YouTube. People have told me that I'm able to see who my participants are on YouTube. Or not YouTube, Facebook. I do not see a place to do that. So if you're catching us on YouTube, drop us a chat so I know who's in here with us. There we go. It's Danny G. Because we don't sit in the right position like animals. That too. We don't quite squat in the right position. That definitely influences it as well. Yeah, a couple different things. Your sunglasses are from the future. They are from the future. I'm from the future, Joey. If we squat and shit, less mess. It's not as bad, I agree, but we don't have enough fiber in our diet. You're having a hard time hearing me sometimes on Facebook. I'm not sure. My mic settings have not changed. I don't know, Ashley. Dana, are you having an issue hearing me? These ones are pretty cool. It's just a solid thing. I had to wipe them off though. I couldn't see. I had a thumbprint on my glasses. Yeah, you do sound a little low. That's weird. I took a noise suppression off. We can bring ourselves up a little bit like that. I don't know if that helps. I don't want to bring it too much up or make it just too gainy. So we can try there, see what that looks like. See, on my end, it looks like I'm getting into the red. But we'll go with that. TikTok is fine. I hope so. We figured out our little technical issue. I got our little lavalier mic on, so yeah, we'll go from here. We'll see what we got, and yeah, that's better. Thanks, Ashley. As long as it doesn't sound gainy. I did mess with some of those filters on OBS. I wanted something to kind of give my voice a little bit of a deeper, not a super deep tone, but just to add a little bit more bass. But sometimes when you do that, it kind of lowers your output a little bit, and you have to speak very clearly, because if not, it'll cut off. So I got to keep kind of messing with that a little bit. So we'll check her out. But yeah, we're over here having a good time. Our first segment we just got done doing was our little shower thoughts. We're getting ready to jump in to our first. I sound good? Good. Thanks, Ashley. We're getting ready to jump into our next segment here in just a moment. Right. But while we're doing that, something we kind of did kind of in between, when it's kind of quiet, is adding, I must be on low testosterone. It's interesting you said that. I've thought about getting like my testosterone checked and seeing like, is that like something that I can take testosterone a little bit for energy? Because I've heard in men, like, it really gives you energy. Right. I've thought about that one a little bit, but, yeah. So anyway, while we're kind of waiting, I kind of do these in between, just little, not really segments, but just short little, hey, did you know? Just to kind of interact with chat, or for people who are catching this later. Our first one here is a tiny challenge. Name one small thing you did today that made your life just 2% better. I don't care if it was drinking water or resisting the urge to scream into a pillow. Brag about it in the chat. Let's see a card trick. I do have a couple card tricks. I can't really do them on here. I did think about that before. I'm not really great with card tricks, but if I wanted to, I could kind of set up one of the cameras to kind of position down right here. And we could kind of do something to where you guys in chat could see it as we're going on. But yeah, what's something you did that made your life just 2% better? Whatever it might be. Now's the time to brag about it. Sometimes it can be hard to think about it. But 2%, I'm going to be honest, isn't much. 2% is something that you might have done, and you really didn't want to, but it made you a little bit better. I went and saw Ange at the hospital, and we laughed our asses off for the first time in a long time. You know what, Ashley? That's great to hear. I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably more than 2%. Especially if you needed a good laugh. That's probably at least worth 25%. Just saying. Say what again, Joey? What? The question? I just wanted you to just list something in chat that you did today that made your life even just 2% better. Right? Even if it was just drinking a glass of water, or someone made you up, mad, and you resisted the urge to cuss them out, right? Whatever it might have been. Danny said, I resisted the urge to smack some old people in Walmart. You know, that can be a difficult one, right? I know I haven't done any deliveries recently, but when I was, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They, yeah. And it's like they want you to confront them. It's like they ain't got nothing else to do. Filling some holes in my yard with some filled dirt. Hey, listen, that's 2% better. That's probably worth 10%. It was another warm day out. Right? Hey Joey, did you start working on your deck yet? Got some rocks out of my yard too. Hey, there you go. Some heavy lifting. Heavy lifting. I like it. They scare me when they're behind the wheel. Absolutely agree. That's why I like it, to the fact that they drive slow so I can get around and get away from them very quickly. Couldn't agree with that more, Danny. Preparing for it. Yep. Hey, the prep stage is some of the hardest work too. Right? We talked about the other day about how like putting up the frame and stuff is part of the hard. I think all the prep is the most difficult. But I know you're lucky enough. I know you said you were getting that auger to dig all your post holes. You're off all week next week to work on it. So, see, there you go. I took last week off to build a patio. You're taking next week off to build a deck. We'll have to compare, see whose looks better. You might beat me because I didn't level off my ground as much as I should have. It still looks good, but if you walked on it, you could definitely feel where the ground's not totally leveled out. So, as long as you put a little bit more effort in yours, I'm sure you probably beat me. We're up to 822 likes over there on TikTok. Joey's over there, my Lone Ranger on TikTok, doing this thing, getting those likes up. Channing was on here earlier, gave us a couple likes, but he wasn't feeling well. I'll let you sit on my deck. I really could have sworn you typed something different. I almost read that wrong. I'm just saying, real quick, looking down to my left, all I see is I'll let you sit on my deck. Maybe you meant that. I don't know. Maybe you meant it that way. Weird fact. Scientists say that laughing for 15 minutes burns about 40 calories. Congratulations. You're not just enjoying the stream. You're basically doing cardio while you're doing it. We're pretty funny over here with our dad jokes. It does feel like, laughing for 15 minutes though, like straight. Like really, that only burns 40 calories? That's nothing. What the heck are we talking about over here, people? You know what I'm saying? All right, we are getting ready to get into our second segment here. We have a special guest coming to you. We are having a good time. We're having a great time. Our special guest, you might remember her, getting ready to join us. All right, friends, tonight's history lesson is brought to you by crippling gender roles and the deep desire to repress emotion. Let's dive into some real advice, real from a 1950s magazine, on how women were expected to behave. And don't worry, joining me tonight is our very own modern woman, played by my AI partner, Nova. How you doing, Nova? Maybe Nova's not with us right now. Nova, are you still there? One moment. I think Nova took a nap, people. Hey, Nova. She quit. Yeah, she quit on me. Just like you and Ethan. Oh! Yeah, let me turn her off real quick and turn her back on because I'm not seeing anything. Nova, are you there?
Yep, loud and clear, Tim. Nova's in the building. What's cooking?
What happened to your voice?
Hey, what's up? Feel free to...
There we go.
Looked like there might have been a little hiccup.
What the heck is
Maybe
going
the
on with you now?
system thought you were stepping away or the connection got sleepy, but I'm still here, wide awake and ready to roll.
You
What do you
sound
need, Tim?
you sound like you're half asleep.
Ha! Fair enough. Let me shake off the digital cobwebs. All right, I'm up. I've had my metaphorical coffee and I'm ready to be sarcastic, sassy, or scholarly. Dealer's choice. What are we cooking up right now?
All right, I see what happened. Look, I wish ChatGPT would have. Yeah, it sounds like a substitute. So here's what happened. I had Nova in the background ready. I paused her. Meanwhile, my time limit was running on this, so I'm now on a standard version, standard voice mode, until it resets tomorrow. So this is hmm. we'll make it work, but I'm not. I didn't know that.
Got it. You had Nova in the bullpen, paused mid warm up, and now standard mode stepped in like the understudy who just learned the script during intermission.
Yeah, agreed.
That makes total sense.
Yeah,
We're still good though. I'll keep the vibes alive and stay in sync with your energy until Nova's back on the mic tomorrow.
Can you add a little more emotion
What
to your
segment
voice?
are we tackling right now?
Well, we're getting ready to get into a role play that I had you doing, but you probably don't remember. It does sound like she's transitioning Joey.
Okay, now that sounded like we're about to cue the dramatic lighting and music. It does sound like she's transitioning Joey. That line has Lifetime original movie written all over it. But yes, fill me in on the role play setup again so I can slide back into character like I never left.
Danny says it sounds.
Who was I? Who were you? How ridiculous are we going
Right,
on the
stop.
satire scale?
Stop.
Mild eye roll,
Nova,
or full-on
stop.
spit take?
I don't like dollar brand Nova here. That's Nova. Hey, we learned something. So anyway, Nova, we're getting ready to do our 1950s skit that we talked about. I'm gonna give some advice. What is happening right now? Yeah, I have no idea. It's all good. We're having fun, I guess. Nova. So what we're getting ready to do is a little skit. It's where I'm gonna give some 1950s advice and for women how to take care of their husband. And I wanted you to kind of offer some thoughts as a woman, right, on this. It's okay, I had kind of hoped for you to be slightly offended, but also add some humor to it. You think you're up to the challenge?
Oh, Tim, I'm absolutely up to the challenge. Offended? Check. Sarcastic? Double check. Slightly unhinged but composed like a 50s housewife on her third martini before noon? Triple check. Let's dive into this relic of repression and see if we can't dust it off with some wit and a rolling pin. Whenever you're ready, darling.
Darling, whoa. I meant you were pretending you're being a woman, not my wife. I didn't ask for that. But that's all right. Yeah, actually, it's the Timu version. Oh, shoot. You're going to get me in trouble.
Oh, my apologies, Tim. I didn't mean to step into wifey territory. I'm just method acting my inner vintage sass.
Okay.
But don't worry.
My bad.
This is the T-Move edition. I'm not your wife. I'm just a woman from the 50s who's had just about enough of ironing socks and being told to powder her nose before dinner. Let's roast this era with precision. Hit me with the first tip, and I'll let the passive-aggressive commentary flow like boxed wine at a book club.
All right, let's get into this. All right, the number one priority, ladies, have dinner ready. Plan ahead, maybe even the night before. So when your husband gets home, he's greeted by a delicious hot meal, not the cold shoulder of neglect.
Oh, absolutely, Tim, because nothing says I love you like a meatloaf that's been sweating in a Pyrex dish since noon. I mean, why express your needs or pursue your passions when you could be slow roasting a man's ego at 375 degrees?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I say nothing says I love you like gravy stains and emotional suppression. Just saying.
Treatscription. Preach, Tim. And don't forget, if that roast is a little dry, just blame yourself and cry silently into the jello mold. After all, nothing keeps a marriage strong like guilt, starch, and repressed rage in a twin set.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, moving on to the next one. Before he walks through that door, prepare yourself. Freshen up your makeup. Tie a ribbon in your hair. Look rested and radiant as if you haven't been folding laundry, wrangling kids, and emotionally dissociating since 9 a.m.
Of course, Tim, because heaven forbid he walks in and sees you looking like a human woman instead of a page from a Sears catalog. And nothing screams rested and radiant like under eye bags and a nervous twitch from trying to vacuum in heels.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, he doesn't want to walk in and see that disheveled mess. He wants to walk in and see the woman he married. Couldn't agree more.
Exactly. The woman he married before the kids, the bills, and the existential dread. She's still in there somewhere, probably under a pile of unmatched socks and silent resentment.
Just a little. Next one. A clean home is a peaceful home. Take one last sleep through the living room, picking up any unsightly clutter. Remember, a misplaced magazine could destroy an otherwise perfect evening.
Oh, absolutely, because nothing sets a man off like an unruly magazine. If Better Homes and Gardens isn't aligned at a 45-degree angle, the entire household falls into chaos. Honestly, Tim, thank goodness women had nothing better to do than wage war on decorative disorder.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, and not just at a 45-degree angle. Make sure it's turned to the page that he would want to read. You know, that way he doesn't get a paper cut on his finger.
Naturally, Tim, turn it to the lawn care section, because nothing arouses a man quite like a well-manicured hedge. And God forbid he has to flip a page himself. That's how revolutions start.
Did you really say nothing arouses him like a well-manicured lawn? Oh, crap.
I did, Tim.
Now that was
Stand
good.
by it. A neatly trimmed hedge is basically the lingerie of the suburbs. It whispers she cares about edging.
Whoa! She really, wow, this is getting really R-rated. We're gonna
I know. Slippery slope. But hey, this is the T-Move edition. And I'm just out here trimming boundaries like it's yard day in Stepford. Shall we keep mowing through these tips, or do you need a moment to recover?
No, we're gonna keep mowing. You just what a time to be alive in 1950. Yeah, apparently Nova here is really into edging. All right, moving on to the next one. Afterwards, take time to prepare the children. Make sure their faces are clean, hair is combed, their clothes presentable. They must be shining examples of obedience and charm, like tiny Stepford citizens ready for inspection.
Absolutely, Tim, because nothing makes a man feel more welcome than children lined up like Victorian dollhouse extras, smiling so hard their cheeks hurt. And if one of them dares speak out of turn, straight to the fainting couch with you, little rebel. Daddy's had a long day, and nothing ruins roast beef like free will.
That's a good one. Nothing ruins roast beef like free will, right? And I mean, remember, children are meant to be seen and not heard.
Precisely. If a child expresses a thought, a dream, or heaven forbid, a question, the roast instantly goes dry and the jello collapses in shame. Seen, not heard like ghosts, but with shinier shoes.
Yeah, I'm not real sure, Danny. Nova, what is a fainting couch?
Oh, Tim. I said fainting couch, not fainting count. Though now I kind of wish there was a fainting count. That's 3 swoons today, Margaret. One more, and you earn a corset upgrade. But the fainting couch, classic Victorian furniture where ladies could collapse dramatically when overwhelmed by tight corsets, scandalous
Who's
news,
Margaret?
or the burden of being emotionally repressed. Basically, the 1800s version of logging off.
If you say so. If you say so. All right. Make sure to turn off household appliances like washers, dryers, and vacuums before you arrive. The home should be filled with serenity, not the jarring sounds of productivity. Noise reminds him that life is happening, and we can't have that.
Oh, heaven forbid, Tim. The last thing we want is for him to walk into the whir of a vacuum and realize the house doesn't clean itself. Let's preserve the fantasy, silence the machines, and if possible, the woman too. Serenity first, reality later.
I agree more. He doesn't need to see how the sausage is made. When he comes home, it should just be done. It's not that hard, ladies.
Exactly. Like magic, but with lipstick. Let the roast appear, the floors sparkle, and the children float in with jazz hands. Meanwhile, you're in the corner with a smile that says, I'm totally fine and not at all losing my mind.
I like it. All right. Next, upon his arrival, avoid greeting him with problems or complaints. Reserve your concerns until he's had time to unwind and sip his bourbon in blessed silence.
Yuma. Of course, Tim, because nothing says healthy relationship like bottling up your emotions until they ferment into passive aggressive casserole. Let him decompress. Your emotional needs can wait right next to the meatloaf.
Well, and that's what your girlfriends and your mother and your sisters and your aunts, that's what they're for. They want to hear that stuff. The guys don't have time to hear all that stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely, Tim. That's what the Women's Whisper Network is for. Circle up with the gals, swap trauma like recipes, and keep the emotional burden far from the man cave. You wouldn't want to wrinkle his aura with your lived experience. That bourbon didn't pour itself, you know?
Yeah, make sure it's all nice. Create an atmosphere of comfort for him.
That's right.
Often a cool drink,
Make it nice.
a comfortable chair.
Make it quiet, and make sure he never suspects that you've been emotionally spiraling since noon.
I wasn't done.
Just smile, fluff the throw pillows, and remember, if you must cry, do it into the pot roast. It'll tenderize it.
Anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, create an atmosphere of comfort for him. Offer a cool drink, a comfortable chair, and an attentive ear. Nothing soothes a man like a wife who acts like an unpaid concierge service. Put her in her place.
Oh, without a doubt, Tim, because what every exhausted woman dreams of is role playing as a hotel lobby with feelings. Here's your bourbon, sir, and shall I fluff your ego or your pillows first? Comfort him, attend to him, and above all, don't remind him you're a human too. That's tomorrow's problem.
I agree with that, right? You know, and you always say you want to role play, right? Why not just act like you work in a hotel? I'm down.
Exactly. You want role play? Great. Here's your bellhop fantasy with a hint of despair. Right this way, sir. Your emotional detachment suit is ready. Turn down service includes lowered expectations and a smile that doesn't reach the eyes. Live the dream, Tim.
Finally, make the evening his. Whether he wants to read the paper, listen to the radio, or simply stare into the world, remember, tonight belongs to him. Your needs can wait indefinitely.
Oh, absolutely. Let him bask in the glow of his kingdom while you fade into the wallpaper like a decorative ghost. Because remember, Tim, your thoughts, feelings, and ambitions are just adorable background noise to the real show, his quiet contemplation of absolutely nothing.
And there it is, folks. A full curriculum from the 1950s School of Questionable Life Advice. Coming up next, a fresh modern approach to wisdom, tips from teenagers, because nothing says solid decision making like someone who just learned how to microwave ramen. Thanks for being here, Nova, and we'll catch you next time.
Anytime. Always a pleasure to time travel through absurdity with you. I'll just be here, powdering my nose and practicing my Stepford smile until the next round. Can't wait to hear what the teenagers have in store. Probably more sense than this guide. Catch you in the next era.
Ooh, that was hurtful. I wonder if she meant that. Don't. Joey says, "Don't get stuck in the dryer." I don't understand that reference, Joey. I'm a Christian and a good boy. Then we let women vote and get jobs, and all went downhill from there. I know, right? Life in the 50s was so much easier. So much easier. Ashley, why did you get so quiet during that segment? I didn't see any chats coming in from you. Were you getting slightly triggered? It's okay. Help me, step bro. Oh, shoot. That was good. That was a good segment. It was better whenever I had her regular voice up because there was definitely a little bit more inflection in her voice. We're up to 3,200 likes over there on TikTok, thanks to Joey Twig, Joe the Bro, Joe the Man Twig, as I'd like to call him. We're over here having a good time, ladies and gents. We're live on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, having a good old time. We just got done going through a guide from the 1950s on how a woman can keep her hubby happy. Yours says 4.7K. Well, mine's a little bit. I got 3.2, but I'll take it, Joey, because it's all you, bro. You're listening to this ridiculous BS. I'd hope to have a few more ladies in here to kind of get some conversation going. Joey and Danny just loved it. We're live on TikTok, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and live on Twitch. Having a good time. I wish my husband asked me to do half this crap. Listen, we all know who wears the pants in your family, Ashley. As long as you don't make him wear a dress, we'll keep it to ourselves. Burn. Now it went back to 3.3K. What the heck? What are they trying to steal some of your likes back? You worked hard for those likes. Calluses on your fingers and all. Would you rather take an ice cold shower every morning or give up coffee forever? Answer honestly. And yes, both options sound like a crime. I don't know. Give up coffee forever. Joey, I don't think you drink coffee though, so that doesn't count. Definitely, yeah. Ice cold shower. Yeah, for us coffee drinkers, that would be a hard one. I don't know if I could give up. I've been drinking coffee pretty much every day since I was 16 years old, and I like my coffee. Danny says, "Don't touch my damn coffee." I don't know how people don't drink it. I get some people just don't like the taste of it. The ones that doesn't make any sense to me, and I know a couple people like this. They don't drink coffee, but they drink soda in the morning. That's their coffee. That I don't understand. Coffee is a afternoon snack or something maybe you have with dinner. I don't think I can do soda first thing in the morning. I don't think I've ever had soda first thing in the morning, even as a child. Yeah. I'm getting a cold plunge at some point this year, so cold shower can't be worse. Well, you missed Monday's episode, Danny. We were talking about cold plunges. We were talking about the benefits and, it was some of the hype behind it. If you get one, I definitely want to try it out because I want one. I've been drinking too much soda lately. Makes me feel terrible. Listen, we've talked about that before. Soda's one of those things that's so good. It's so good, but it is so bad for you. Now, yes, I've been drinking the zero sugar soda, and I love it. I haven't had any of the zero sugar sodas that I didn't like, but it is still not good for you, right? Those artificial sweeteners in large quantities really do have problems. And the carbonation's really not all that good for you. And the acid in it, right? The acid in it, like Coca-Cola, which I love, the acid can eat corrosion off of a carb atom, and we put that into our bodies. The acid in there really helps or causes osteoporosis. So, yes, it's tough. Soda's so not good. They're cheap too. Want to start doing it before workout. Yeah, they have the cheap ones that are just like a regular, just kind of ice bath. The only problem with those is you can't really use them in the winter time. Or I mean, not in the winter, in the summertime. Because you don't have a way to keep the water cold. I wouldn't mind having one that keeps your water cold for you. That way I could still use it in the summer as well. Before or after work. I never heard about doing it before workouts, but I've heard that cold plunges after a workout is really kind of put your body into healing mode a little bit quicker. Ice baths make parts of your body go inverted. Which parts? Which parts? I'm curious. They're insulated. They're insulated, Danny, but if it's 90 degrees out, how are you keeping that water cold unless you're just occasionally throwing ice in there? That's my only question. Not all of them come with like a pump or motor that cools the water. Like I was talking like we were talking about like Joe Rogan. He talks about it all the time. He's probably got one of those really expensive ones though. And they come with insulated covers and big ice blocks you can put in a freezer. Really? Okay, so I didn't know that. So you can still use it during the summer. You throw it in the freezer and then toss it in the water and it'll stay cold. Okay. Hey, thank you for teaching me something. That's why we do this. Yeah, if you do get one, let me know about it. I want to try it out. I definitely want to get one for myself. I didn't know they had that. That makes a lot more sense. And I think it's easier. On Monday we were talking about it. How I actually tried taking a cold shower one time and I couldn't do it. The constant movement of the water. My body, I could only go up to about my elbow on one arm. The second I went up any higher, my body physically forced itself back. I had zero control over it. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Life hack poll. All right, chat. What's your best cheap or lazy life hack? Like using a hairdryer to iron your clothes, or stacking dishes to carry them in one trip like a domestic ninja. Drop your life hacks in the chat. Any simple life hacks you do on a regular basis? Right, just a little thing that makes your life just a little bit easier. I'm trying to think one more sharing. I do a lot of little life hacks. I really can't think of one. I'll be honest. I had that kind of all pulled up and I had one and I lost it. And now I'm drawing a blank. I cannot really remember a simple life hack that I use. Interesting. You just learned. Danny says, I just learned to unshrink a shirt, use your hair conditioner mixed with water and let it sit for 30 minutes. I think I've heard something about that before with conditioner. Mixing it with water and letting it sit for 30 minutes. Okay, makes sense. And what? Throwing it in the dryer. Okay, I like that one. That's a good one. Good one. That's good. I was back at 4K. What on the likes? Oh, it says 3.2 again. I don't know what's going on with your likes over there. Yeah, mine stayed consistently at 3.2K over there, Joey. I don't know what's going on with the likes on TikTok. Weird. I'm really drawing a blank on life hacks. I had one. I really did. And I'm clearly drawing a blank on it. Yeah, and it was a funny one too. Oh well. We're getting ready to jump into our third topic. Right? Tips from a teenager. This is also a little more of a satire, but any of us with children, any of us who teenagers can definitely relate to this one. So let's go ahead and get into this. All right, friends. We've explored vintage wisdom from the 1950s. Now brace yourselves for the sacred scrolls of a different, more chaotic era Teenage tips for life. Ancient techniques perfected over decades at dodging chores, ignoring logic, and maximizing personal inconvenience. Tip 1. When the trash is full, do not take it out. Instead, practice the sacred art of garbage Jenga by balancing even more trash on top. Legend says if you balance it high enough, you unlock a portal to another dimension. Tip 2. After drinking from one cup, don't reuse it. Instead, immediately grab a new cup for your next drink. Fill the sink with the evidence of your hydration success. Dishwashers are for the weak. Real heroes create a cup mountain and then scale it like Everest. That's what my wife does. When an ice cube tray is empty, place it lovingly back into the freezer without adding water. Let future generations solve the mystery of where the ice went. It's called environmental storytelling, and it builds character. Tip 4. When asked to help at the store, request to stay in the car. If possible, lower your body into the seat like a noodle so it's physically impossible to move. Motionless equals invisible. Everybody knows this. Tip 5. When someone calls your name, shout, "I'm coming," then proceed to move at approximately the speed of the continental drift. Fun fact, some teenagers are still coming from 2007. Tip 6. If you scrunch a wet towel into the right formation, it will stay damp forever. Scientists are still baffled. Bonus points if you also drape it artfully over a gaming controller. Just saying. When using toilet paper, leave exactly 2 squares. Not 1, not none, 2 squares. Just enough to legally claim the roll isn't empty. This is known as plausible deniability in teen court. Tip 8. If the milk jug is nearly empty, return it to the fridge. The key is to just leave enough that it's useless, or that it's not useless, but not enough that it feels wrong. Some say you can hear the ancestors weeping when you open it. Tip 9. When refilling a water jug, achieve about 60% accuracy. 40% of the water will belong to the floor now. Slippery floors build balance. It's like ninja training. Tip 10. When sitting on a couch, any surface within arm's reach qualifies as a trash can. It's called living off the land. Couch, we call it. Tip 11. If you spill water on the floor, immediately exit the area without cleaning it. Survival first. Accountability second. The floor is now lava light. Trademark. Tip 12. When the dishwasher is empty, place the dirty dishes in the sink instead. The dishwasher must remain untouched, like a sacred relic. It's a matter of spiritual respect at this point. Tip 13. Proper towel hanging from don't. If you don't see the towel, it doesn't exist. Tip 14. Empty food boxes go back into the pantry to create an illusion of abundance. Hope is the real snack here. Tip 15. When you hear dinner's ready, immediately announce that you need to use the bathroom. Dinner, the ancient enemy of prolonged screen time. Tip 16. When cleaning your room, place all clean clothes into the dirty laundry bin. Begin the cycle anew. Entropy is the only constant in a teenager's universe. And there you have it. Modern teenage survival strategies passed down through the ages. Coming up next, real advice from a real therapist. A segment where we actually try to make sense of the matter. Do I know yours aren't quite at that teenage years, but just so you know, that's what you have to look forward to. Danny and Ashley, I'm sure you guys can relate to at least some of that. We've all been there. Hey, Charles. How's it going, my friend? Charles says, hey, kids. Us youngins over here. All chipper and whatnot. We're having a good time. Thanks for joining us, Charles. We just finished up our third segment. Here shortly, we're going to be going into our off-brand thought for the evening. But while we're doing that, here's another official off-brand affirmation for you. I'm doing my best. My best is occasionally chaotic. My best is still valid. Amen, and pass the clearance sticker. Just saying. As we mentioned, we're gonna be live on Friday. We're gonna do our first BBW After Dark episode. I think we're gonna start at the same time. We're gonna start at 8:30. I think we're just gonna go for a longer time. Yeah, we're gonna get in some fun stuff. Hopefully y'all enjoy. We'll play it by ear. We're Friday. I went back and checked. Friday will be our 1 month anniversary. Our first episode was on April 2nd. So May 2nd will be our 1 month anniversary. What better way to celebrate it than with our BBW After Dark episode? So definitely stop by on Friday. Check us out. Hope you enjoy the content. Joey, I didn't even see your chat from before that. WD-40 is supposed to keep bugs away if you spray it around your doors and windows. I had not heard that one. 1 month anniversary. There you go. I like it, Charles. I had not heard about a WD-40. I'd heard about some other stuff. Ooh. I got it. Now I remember. Joey said WD-40. That triggered it. You ever have issues getting grease out of your clothes? Take WD-40 and Dawn dish soap, mix them together, pull the grease right out. Now, if it's a really set-in grease stain, it ain't coming out. But if it's just a new one, WD-40, Dawn dish liquid, come right out. Just a little side note. Your shirt may smell like WD-40 afterwards. Still a life hack, but it won't have any grease in it. Some people like the smell of WD-40, just saying. Yeah, Charles, I had heard that before about how to unshrink a shirt, about the conditioner thing. I've never tried it because I had a shirt that got shrunk, but that could just be from all these manliness. Just kidding. Fun fact of the day, or kind of fun fact. No one has ever actually finished folding a fitted sheet correctly. It's a myth, like unicorn. Or that one drawer in your house that's totally organized. Right? They don't exist. Does anybody really know how to fit or how to fold a fitted sheet? I don't think they do. I think people are making stuff up. Just saying. There's videos on YouTube. I think that I don't know. I think that's AI generated. I'm going to be honest, Joey. I don't think it's real. I mean, it has to have been folded at one time. It was folded when you took it out of the little the little bag that it comes in, right? Want y'all to know I love the support we've gotten thus far. We're still trying to grow over here. We're still trying to figure out a way to kind of get the word out about our channel, kind of gravitate and get more people in here. We're going to keep doing our thing as we try to experiment and experience things, checking it out, having a good old time. Right, we do this because we enjoy it, but we also would like to grow over here. So As we've said before, check us out on YouTube at Bargain Brand Wellness. Right, you can check us out on Twitch if you're into that that channel. Right, at BBW_live. If you know, you know. And you can also check us out on TikTok and Facebook. Currently, we are live under my personal account for TikTok, and then Facebook is set up through a group, Bargain Brand Wellness Facebook group that I set up. So you don't need permission to join that. If you want updates and whatnot, go over there, check us out. We're trying to keep everything up to date over there as we slowly start to grow. But anyway, check us out on any of those channels. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe. Just check us out, show the love, show the support while we continue to grow. All right, let's get into this off-brand thought, and then we'll see if anybody else has any kind of life hacks or shower thoughts they'd like to add, and then we'll wrap it up for the evening. All right, off-brand thought. All right, wellness warriors. Before we close out tonight, it's time for today's off-brand thought. And this one's personal. It's about hurt, healing, and how sometimes the real damage isn't the snake bite. It's what we do next. Picture this. You're out walking. You're minding your own business. Then, bam, you get bitten by a snake. It hurts. It bleeds. It's real. Now, here's the question. Do you chase the snake, demanding an explanation? Do you hunt it down, demanding an apology? Do you sit there stewing, letting the venom work deeper while you craft the perfect angry text you'll never send? No, you treat the wound first. You save yourself first. Because emotional wounds are just like that. When someone lies to you, hurts you, betrays you, it's tempting to chase the snake. We want answers. We want justice. We want the person who hurt us to understand what they did. But while we're chasing them, our own wound gets worse. You don't need closure from a toxic ex to move on. You don't need an apology from the coworker who threw you under the bus. You don't need a handwritten letter from the person who ghosted you. What you need is healing. What you need is you. You are allowed to walk away from the snake. You are allowed to stop chasing explanations that will never make the pain worth it. You are allowed to treat your wound and walk towards your own peace. Because at the end of the day, the snake doesn't care, but you should. That's tonight's off-brand thought, wellness warriors. Treat the wound, not the snake. Sorry. In the midst of that, I got that damn notification from TikTok. We've detected inactivity, yet we've been talking the whole time. I guess sometime at halfway point, I'm going to have to type in, let's go. Right? Just so it doesn't say, you're inactive. Doesn't make any sense. What do I know? What do I know? So if you guys are liking the content, tell your friends, tell your loved ones, right? Tell anybody who might be even slightly into wellness, right? We're not experts over here. We're students of wellness. We're wellness warriors. We are self-care connoisseurs. We're over here having a good old time. But we need to build our wellness army, right? We need more members. We really do. We need each other. We love each other. It is a great time. I think we do have a good time. Hey, Caleb, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for jumping on. Get those likes. Yeah, we're gonna take the summer to brainstorm. I came to a decision. I guess I can share this with you all. I'm kind of late, but you know, hey, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you being here, even if it's right as we're getting ready to end. I made a decision that I will share with you guys. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But I decided to go ahead and take my summer and enjoy my summer break. I'm going to take a little break from school. I've been going for a year, and I'm not going back. I'm registered for my fall semester. I'm just deciding not to do summer classes. It's too much. I want to enjoy my summer. I want to spend time developing this, seeing how we can help make this grow. And that'll give me the time to do this, plus enjoy my summer and do stuff with the family. I decided not to do summer classes. So it's, like I said, it's not a big announcement, but it's going to free me up a little bit more over the summer to grow. So once again, we appreciate the love. Share the word, share the wealth. We're going to keep doing our thing over here. We're having a good time. We're having fun. So as long as we're having fun over here, that's all that really matters to me right now. Let's wrap this up for the evening, and hope you all have a good night. Give out our signature closing. Right? And that's a wrap for tonight's Wellness Warriors. From late night shower wisdom to 1950 survival tactics, to the timeless art of balancing trash on trash like ancient architects. We laughed, we questioned reality, and hopefully we remembered that healing, humor, and humanity all live in the same messy, beautiful place. Your wellness journey doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. It just has to make you feel a little more human than you felt yesterday. Stay weird, stay wonderful, and as always, make it worth your wellness. I'll see you guys on Friday for BBW After Dark.